What up, y'all, and welcome to Auto Club Speedway for the second race of the 2023 NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series. We're here at Auto Club for 50 laps of action. Adam Flickinger on pole for the first time this year. He's got Hunter Braxton to his outside, Jim Ganton and Sam Young in row 2. Donovan Cage and Kate Anderson, last race's pole sitter, in row 3. Benjamin Ice and Stephen Waters in row 4, with Skylar Taylor and Colin Cropley rounding out the top 10. I'm joined by the homie Vince Freeze. What's good, Vince?
Yeah, man, sunny California, Fontana, wore out surface, slick track. These truckers are going to be hauling the mail, though, down this front stretch early, and tires will wear a little bit. Should be a fun one here.
Yeah, last year's winner here was Audra Baranowskis in the 21 truck on a last lap, last corner pass. I forget who that pass was made on, but Audra took home the trophy. I actually don't have the past winners list on me for this race. We'll have to get that before we go green, but we'll just go through the rest of the starting lineup real quick. Notable there, Jessica Strauss in the 54, the Daytona winner, with James Ellison to her outside. That is row 6. You see Gene Sanford, Max Anderson, Ryan Brommer up towards the front, Delon Ibrahimian. Start to get to the middle of the pack, you'll see Peter Onjak, Pat Johnson, Brad Lewis, Jack James, Gatlin Downey, and more. As you get to the rear of the field, you've got Enzo Nareza, Daniel Brown, Zachary DeLello, Lucas Catano, Roberto Crown Jr., and then Dennis Moore. So we'll be right back for the green flag as I want to get my past winners list up. All right, so our other past winners here at Auto Club and Jerky Pro Truck Series history. Carter Friesen in 2020. How could I forget? That was the closest finish in a long while at the time. 1/1000th or 2/1000ths, one of the two there, was the margin of victory. It was Carter Friesen over James Ellison. Ellison in the field looking for redemption maybe from that race. He went on to win his first career race in 2020 a couple races later. And then our 2021 winner here was Charles Sanford in the 33. Vince, I think you remember, no one could get by
Oh, yeah.
Charles in that race, man. It was impossible to pass him.
Yeah, he was wider than a foot-long truck or something. It was crazy. But Adam Flickinger, Braxton, should be interesting. I think Sam Young, Cage, we know Cage is really good at intermediate tracks. They got to be the ones to watch today for sure.
Yeah, we've had a couple of surprises here this weekend in qualifying in both the Jerky Pro Truck Series here today and in the Digital Storm Cup Series race, which will be going on tomorrow. But focus is on today. Green flag is out. It's Adam Flickinger and Hunter Braxton leading the field to the green.
Great start by Flickinger, starting to pull a little bit on the front stretch.
If you have never seen a NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series or a Digital Storm race at Auto Club before, you'll find turns 1 and 2. The higher you are, the bigger run you'll get off the corner, and the much harder it is to pass on the inside line. But in turns 3 and 4, the complete opposite. Bottom is where you want to be. And right now, the top 3 are Chevys. Speaking of Chevys, only Chevys have won here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. We'll see if Ford, Toyota, or Ram can change that statistic here this afternoon.
Definitely a weird sight seeing that 21 not driven by Baranowskis, Jim Ganton in there. See if he can make it back to back with the car number, or truck number, excuse me.
Yes, indeed. Benjamin Ice and Hunter Braxton teammates there. Going to be a lot of draft play here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. You can see they are getting up to about $190. But still, draft very important in the truck series. Vince, you've always mentioned how these trucks they just put a huge hole in the air, and they take a lot of air on the front nose. So being in the draft is huge down the straightaways.
Yeah, they'll probably top off around 195 probably, and a good draft. Maybe Cage was there. Question remains is what will tire fall off be, and when will the veterans start making a move? Right now, if rookies can hang, we saw last year, even though it was in cloudy conditions, the veterans made their way to the front like Cage and Young, who had track position this time for sure.
Look at the huge run there by Hunter Braxton and Ron Bishop on the outside line. Then you see they go in the 3 and 4, and the bottom kind of becomes the place to be. James Ellison, Pat Johnson, and Jack James all on the very bottom through 3 and 4. Right now, fastest lap on the race belongs to Lucas Catano, who started at the rear of the field. Let's see if we can find the 39. They are 4 wide craziness back here. Peter Onjak has fallen down the running order. There is Catano, currently up to 25th. And how about Roberto Crown Jr. in the 87? He started on the final row. He has driven up inside the top 30 in just a handful of laps. So Roberto, his truck seems to be pretty hooked up.
You see the varying strategy in terms of just setup. We can see more trim on the straights, more downforce and handling in the corners. Some teams will trim a little bit more for more tire wear. Some will try to save it for the end of the run. We'll find out as the next 20 laps will tell a story.
Bunch of Thor Sport teammates right there. 88, 98, 13. It's David Dixon in the 98, Max Anderson, and Jack James, longtime drivers of the team in the 88 and 13, respectively. They're all trying to work their way forward. You can see it. It's just a hornet's nest back here in the midfield. See Vince. Oh, yeah, sure. Vince, they are really hauling. Look at that. 200 miles an hour actually in the draft by the 13 of Jack James.
Less steering input, stay tucked in. That's how you get the fastest terminal velocity to the front. Go fast on the straights, but you do have to back a little bit more in the corner. You sacrifice on corner entry a little bit, hoping for a better corner exit for sure.
Over the years, the Jerky Pro Truck Series has really been able to see their teams reduce drag aerodynamically as much as possible. And, you know, while they don't have as much acceleration, you know, with all the reduced drag, these trucks really get up there. The Cup cars tomorrow will be hitting, I believe, a little north of maybe 210 into turn 1. But for the trucks to be going 200 is still very impressive.
Definitely is, and especially 7 laps into a run on a abrasive surface like Auto Club. Definitely seen the best of the best in terms of engineering come out to play. Sure.
Let's go back to the front of the field. Adam Flickinger, the race leader still. Sam Young and Donovan Cage, though, are right behind him. Adam ran a couple years in the Digital Storm Cup Series and has made his return to Jerky Pro here, looking to run for a championship. And 2 other drivers in the same boat as him are Peter Onjak in the 83 for Red Bull and James Ellison in the 9 for Junior Motorsports.
You saw a great example of Cage, just no draft and just lost all momentum in the front stretch, but holds his own in the back stretch through the undulations. And Flickinger looks low at a crossover.
Seeing one truck start to trail off at the back of the pack. So you give it a second here to update at the start-finish line. That is the 41 of Archibald Buttersworth now. We've seen in the past here, Vince, over the last 2 seasons, that it is possible to really, really mess up your tires here if you're not careful. And usually what happens when that occurs is you lose all grip in the corner and all acceleration traction down the straightaway. And we're seeing it happen with the 41. That truck's tires are shot.
Yeah, it's the rookie, right? Yeah, rookies are they just don't know what they don't know, and I've said it many times in the past, and I'll say it again. It's the ebbs and flows of a veteran-laced racetrack. You gotta know when to go, especially early in the run. You want to save, and there's a good example. 3 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, currently a second and a half or so off those at the back of the field, and you know, we typically can see the veterans even have this occur to them, but definitely more prominent with the rookie drivers who haven't been here before, especially Archibald Buttersworth. The R is not showing on the screen, but he is a rookie. And also running in the Digital Storm Cup Series. I cannot recall off the top of my head if he made it in for the race tomorrow. Colin Cropley, Kate Anderson, who started up at the front of the field, is back here. Josh King, Daniel Brown, Gatlin Downey, Dale Johnson, Saden Davidson, Skylar Taylor, Brad Lewis, Ryan Brommer, despite his Cup Series experience, is struggling here. Peter Onjak as well, currently outside the top 20. As James Ellison is just inside the top 20 right now. Sam Young still leading at the front of the field as we work our way from the back to the front. Delon Ibrahimian, Pat Johnson, Enzo Nereza. Lucas Catano has driven all the way up into the top 15, as has Roberto Crown Jr. Vince. So as you said, ebbs and flows. You got comers, you got the goers, and it looks like Catano and Crown are the two big comers.
I'm just looking a lot of spectating here with me in this race because I want to see the tire fall off. We're seeing, I think, 2 seconds of fall from their best lap to the latest lap. I think the veterans is to see Waters there. Oh, aggressive on Cage, the veteran. I don't want to intimidate him, but we'll see. I think the undercut could prove powerful, and also clean pit road entry, as we say every week, is key.
Stephen Waters will be in the Cup race tomorrow. He drives for Hendrick Motorsports in the Cup Series, driving the number 24. That car locked into the first 4 races of the season due to James Ellison's driving a year ago. But Waters down here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series is a Toyota driver for Evans Gardner Motorsports. So driving for 2 really, really experienced teams and 2 different manufacturers is Stephen Waters.
Sure, he'd be sharing some trade secrets. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll see
I'm
how
sure
Donovan
there's some
Cage.
contract obligations that say he can't talk about what either team is doing. They might just
funny.
not even let him into the Cup shop on the EGM side.
That's always a funny contrast. But battle for the lead, 2 of the most experienced. Cage, the intimidator on the intermediates, versus Sam Young, who's been hot in the last 20 races.
Both looking for their first win of the year. We're closing in on the fuel window, Vince. It should be about 20 to 22 laps. So it should be a 2-stopper for everybody. We have been green flag racing so far.
Yeah, just very interesting to see. I think other than Waters, it's very interesting to see how these rookies and vets are mixing it up in the draft. I wonder with the tire fall off and almost in a pack separation, this actually plays into certain rookies' hands. Because we just got off of Daytona, which was a draft-oriented track, so the setups may actually match. And there's Ellison, that 7-Eleven car, or truck, excuse me. You can't miss it. He's starting to slice and dice now. I see him up there.
Jack James has worked his way up here through the field as well. Down there on the bottom. Teal-colored 13. Previously mentioned, you got Lucas Catano, Roberto Crown Jr., who have driven up from the back. And last race winner at Daytona, Jessica Strauss, is going to make a move 4 wide here on Sam Young, as Donovan Cage takes the race lead.
Cage looking to try to run now. It will be off or not as the pit stop cycle is coming.
Kyler Anderson will make a move to Cage's inside there in the 3 for Richard Childress Racing.
Anderson was lingering around 15th to 20th and starting to make a break. And wow, Buttersworth is. I just showed you the Enzo's the 40 now. Is that Calhoun? No, I don't know who that is actually.
Gatlin Downey there in the 40.
Downey, yeah. Still thinking of last year's roster, but yeah, you can see just how much tire wear actually matters here and how you have to save tire degradation down the road.
Yeah, it looks like the 45 of Colin Cropley might also be starting to lose touch with the draft pack, but even despite all this tire wear, Vince, you can see 39th is still only 4 seconds behind the race leader.
I mean, it could now if you're 5 seconds back, you're maybe about a second and a half back. It's actually okay because you're going to get a nice pit road entry. But if you're someone 3 or 4 seconds back, I don't think it's going to matter. But you want to be about a second back to make a time on pit road entries. You seem slicing and dicing with waters today, for sure.
They're doing a lot of weaving down the back straightaway. You see people come off from the bottom to jump up to the top, and then people on the top got the run and they jump to the bottom.
It's cheese grading those tires, though. We're talking almost 3.5 seconds of fall off. As there's Ellison 3 wide.
Look at that, right to the middle. Huge run for James Ellison. Well, not huge, but good run. See if he can clear Anderson here in 1 and 2. He is clear. Will he be able to slide up? Looks like he will. Stephen Waters checking up on the inside line. Look at that. You got the 6, the 9, and the 3, all Chevrolets in the top 3.
Yeah, good multiples of 3 right there. Just missing the 12, and we're missing the 0 in a way. But
Dylan Ibrahimian up to the top 5. Vince. And Peter
Yeah,
Onjak. Peter Onjak's creeping up to the top 10 now.
I think it's the old tortoise versus the hare, buddy. These tortoises in the beginning are starting to become hares of tire management and also understanding the mid-pack and dirty air, for sure.
James Ellison leads at that time by... It's Kyler Anderson with a good run on top. Ooh, Donovan Cage actually got tight there off the corner. See Ibrahim going to slot in line right in front of him. We're on lap 20 of 50. Gatlin Downey down pit road. Archibald Buttersworth coming off. They had fallen a long ways back, Vince, as we mentioned, due to their tire problems. You see Colin Cropley back there as well. Kyler Anderson continues to lead. Not sure if anyone pit that time by. Answer is no. And now Sky Commons in the 17 looking to go up to second place. Adam Flickinger has fallen out of the top 10. Sam Young is down to 10th himself. Seeing a lot of up and downs right now.
Yeah, good flow, and you got to wonder, maybe someone will pull the undercut strategy from a leader. Could save them maybe 2 or 3 seconds. As you can see, the fall off is now 4 seconds.
And I think some drivers I'm hearing might be trying to see if they can one-stop this. If they have enough fall off and they've been in the draft the whole run, it could be feasible. Still no one down the pit road here as we've started lap 22.
Let's go on Downey. Let's go with that. See what the difference between fresh tires. Oh, okay, never mind. He's up to speed. We'll see right here, though. You know what? I think the draft might matter more than tires in this case.
It's about $160 there into the corner. Let's see if anyone is committing here. Oh,
Yep.
Ron Bishop is going to come in here on lap 22. As is Reggie Fogelman. So we saw at 165 by yourself. About $140 there. Down the straightaways, I want to say they're going about the same, Vince. It's about 190 here, even by themselves. We got more people committing to pit road. Lucas Catano with a bit of a late drop. But looks like Sky Commons will be leading in the first group. Ibrahimian, Catano, Onjak, Cage, Sam Young, Benjamin Ice, and others down to the pit lane. Very busy pit road. Leaves James Ellison out to lead the race. In the past, we have seen issues with drivers trying to get on the pit road and with drivers coming off of pit road. So we'll have to see if we get either of those here this afternoon on the first pit cycle, or if everyone can make it work. It is possible for them to get it to work.
You got to come in this time.
Ooh, Jack James almost got himself turned by Roberto Crown Jr. Looks like Pat Johnson and Roberto Crown Jr. will stay out.
If that's correct, I think they're the only ones that... Oh, we got a wreck? Oh, no, never mind. Just stacking up.
Yep, very congested off of Pit Road.
I think Crown can make it, so can Johnson. They can make it on fuel.
Going to be pitting here on lap 25.
Yeah, they might have played a fuel game. We'll see.
It's Kyler Anderson and James Ellison, along with Jack James, first out of their group. Jack James actually going to use a little bit of the track there, past James Ellison. Pretty smart move right there, I must say.
Oh, getting aggressive there on the entry and exit.
So we make it through the pit cycle. Clean and green all the way through. Looks like the battle for the lead right now is between Sky Commons and Ron Bishop.
Yeah, older tires, though, they'll definitely be falling off a little bit compared to the pack behind, for sure.
Lucas Catano is third. Reggie Fogelman fourth. Ibrahimian fifth. Peter Onjak is in sixth. Seventh, Gatlin Downey, after falling way to the back. We know he pit super early, though, so he will be dropping like a rock. Kyler Anderson on the freshest tires is in eighth, highest of those with the freshest. Then Jack James in ninth. And Stephen Waters rounds out the top 10. James Ellison down to 14th. Actually, freshest tires belongs to the 87 of Roberto Crown Jr. down in 23rd. And Pat Johnson, who is in 34th. But the question remains, can they make it all the way on fuel? Let's see, tough run here today for Adam Flickinger outside the top 35 after starting on the pole. Jim Ganton in the truck that won here a year ago. No pace for the 21.
Starting to file line. This is very impressive for Bishop. I mean, he had a couple laps older on the tires. He's holding them off. The question will be when we get 10 laps into a run, let's say around lap 31, 32, if it really starts to fade. There's enough pack separation for sure.
And right now, the trucks here in the top three, their biggest disadvantage to them is as they continue the race for the lead. They are disrupting their draft here, and that's really going to play a factor in how fast those behind them can close the distance.
Tana looking for it now. Should clear up. Yep. Will Bishop do a little crossover in the draft and pull out? Nope. Stays behind, tucked in.
Good show here for Peter Onjak in fourth place. Peter has never won between either series and has been around since 2018, I want to say. was 2018 or 2019. One of the two.
Like a really solid run though for a lot of people from the mid pack in the first run. Peter, Ibrahimian was back there. James. I think these guys are starting to play a little bit more of a. Even Anderson, they're starting to play more of a sensitive strategy of just keep it cool, don't burn those tires, stay out of the draft in the early part of the run, and start cooking them when we get down to the last 10 laps and use everything of the goodness of the grip. But like you said, man, will Crown Jr. stay in that draft and start conserving and backing up his times to save fuel with Johnson and actually make this on no more stops rest of the way?
That is the $1 million question right now. See James Ellison back into the top 10 in 9th. Enzo Nareza, a pretty good race for him in 11th. Jessica Strauss, you know, after you win Daytona, if you're one of those underdog drivers, you just got to keep finishing as good as you can to maybe be a dark horse championship threat. And she is currently in 13th. So doing a good job of keeping her name in the race. See Donovan Cage 18th. Downey has fallen to 21st. Roberto Crown Jr. hasn't really been able to go anywhere just yet. Still 24th. But, you know, once they hit the cliff, he'll start flying forward. Same with Pat Johnson, who's in 32nd. As Archibald Buttersworth continues to go down the running order. He pit early. As Brad Lewis has now had the same issue occur to him, and he has really burnt his tires off. As Lucas Catano now leads him.
Can't confirm, but I would think that would be our first lap truck on the day, I'm going to guess.
Yes, that would be correct. Brad Lewis would be the first lap truck, as Catano has set the fastest lap, a 40.240. Sky Commons has started to fade from the top two of Catano and Ron Bishop. Gotta say, it's looking like a pretty good race here for Ron. We know he almost won at Papyrus last year, but man, that bad luck was bad, Vince. Nothing like blowing a tire from the lead on the last lap. But
yeah,
RJ, the other Bishop, won the Daytona 500 2 weeks ago. So maybe things go Ron's way here. He might have a shot at getting his first career win here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. That is something RJ never accomplished. A Jerky Pro win. Kyler Anderson is looking to make it 2 first-time winners in a row to start the Jerky Pro season, as he is looking to pass Sky Commons for 3rd. Ron Bishop would be in the same mix there with that conversation. You got Lucas Catano, who's won 1 race before. Jack James, who has won twice. James Ellison, who has won twice. Peter Onjak would be looking for his first one. Ibrahimian would be looking for his 3rd. And then Stephen Waters would be looking for his first. Enzo Nareza would be looking for his 2nd. Jack James will go by Commons for 4th. As the 3 and the 13 continue to charge forward towards the 39 and the 1, as Brad Lewis ended up going down pit road. Vince, they knew it was so bad. They actually had officials talking to them about their minimum speed, and they elected the pit.
Well, he'll be playing a little bit of a problem with Tano on aero for like maybe this lap, but he should be out of their hair with pace differential.
And he is a lap down, gonna prevent himself from going 2 laps down. But now ultimately Brad might need a caution here.
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't want the caution. I think I'd rather let this cycle green. You got a pace differential.
Interesting. Might be right there, unless these drivers maybe answer his pit here soon. Archibald
Yep.
Buttersworth and Gatlin Downey have come down. They could have made it, I think, a couple more laps, but they have elected the pit, so they're going to at least answer before Brad Lewis. And now Ron Bishop's going to come in here on lap 37.
Yeah, you got to be backing your pace up 4 or 5 seconds if you're Crown Jr. and Johnson. There's no way they can make it now.
Reggie Fogelman's going to pit as well. Now, Vince, this is where things are going to get really sketchy because you're going to have a even wider pit strategy gap from the first cycle to this second cycle.
This is where we could see some problems, but the one thing I will say, with these guys coming in early, I just don't think anyone can make it the rest of the way. You'd be losing too much time. You need to be within at least 5 seconds of the leader to get Delta if you pit now. There's Bishop. Let's see how he does on pit road exit is that lap here.
See Brad Lewis,
There we go.
I believe, is still pretty far behind the one. Actually, yeah, let's see, lap 37. Yeah, he is still a good half a lap behind the one truck. So Ron will come out of the pits. Oh, and there's contact there between Pat Johnson and Ryan Brommer. That's going to bring out the caution.
Well, that changes everything.
Like Johnson was trying to get in line, and he was not clear. That'll be caution flag out here coming to 11 to go.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the undercut strategy now. These guys can have fresher tires. They stack it up right here.
Race leader is Lucas Catano. Lucky Dog will be the one of Ron Bishop. Likely all of these drivers here, though, probably going to stay out. Those that have pit already, so we should see them get the wave around. But so we saw the crash happen in live action. Just 12 was trying to inch his way up and did not work out. Wait a minute.
What was split?
We have an interesting situation here.
That makes no sense.
Brittany Turner is staying on the track with about 3 seconds of tire fall off.
Oh, no.
So is Max Anderson, Daniel Brown, Eric Monaco, Roberto Crown Jr., who we believed had a chance of making it all the way, Dale Johnson. I thought I saw someone else stay out there, but I can't get a read on him. Brad Lewis and Pat Johnson as well. Oh, Brad Lewis had already pit, but... Well, that means only the one is going to get his lap back, as now those that were in a potential wave around position are going to be stuck behind Brittany Turner here. Yeah, Vince, I'm going to be honest. I don't get this call. Even if they can make it on fuel to the end, they are going to be at a significant tire disadvantage. As I'm hearing that a lot of people just took right sides only.
Oh.
But there are a couple that took 4. Trying to find out
What in the
who
world
those
are you
would
doing?
be. I'm hearing Peter Onjak was one of them. Onjak was one of the drivers electing to take 4 tires. I'm hearing Dennis Moore's team did as well, I believe. I'm not sure who else. I'm hearing Winnie Calhoun did. I think there were 1 or 2 more, but I don't know off the top of my head right now. We'll know soon as we get them. And there goes Ron Bishop being given his lap back. But we will take a step aside, find out who the others were that took 4 tires, and we'll be back for the race restart. Getting ready to go back racing, and Nobody that stayed out decided to change their minds, so we're gonna see how crazy stuff gets. Unlike Daytona, officials are going to allow lap down trucks to restart single file in the leaders here since we are under 10 to go. It'll be 7 to go on the restart. Vince, you got a wild prediction here?
Buckle up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Buckle
We got a lot
up.
of.
We got the Vince Freeze buckle up moment of the race. It's about to get stupid, as I like to say. Green flag is back out. Brittany Turner gets to lead him to the restart. You see everyone with tires, even under acceleration, able to get up to speed faster. And Catlin Downey's the first one I see hauling the mail. Here comes Fogelman, Buttersworth, Brad Lewis. They are scattering like madmen and mad women. Downey's going to get his lap back the old-fashioned way, as is Reggie Fogelman. Buttersworth and Brad Lewis. As Kyler Anderson starts working his way through the field, restarted in 9th, to the race lead he goes. There's Peter Onjak up the inside from 20th. Straight up to 6th place. Remember, most of the field took right sides only, but there are drivers who took 4. Peter Onjak was one of those drivers to take 4. And it looks like maybe Sky Commons and Jessica Strauss were 2 others. Winnie Calhoun and Dennis Moore are 2 more. They are near the back of this picture. Actually, there's Dennis Moore right there, now up to 4th, I believe, as Sky Commons has taken the race lead.
I forgot, Strauss can go back-to-back. We didn't even mention that.
Yes, indeed. Jessica Strauss could be looking to go back-to-back here. She is in 2nd. As someone has just come out of pit road, it's Zachary DeLello. I don't even think he was one of the ones that stayed out. Delon Ibrahimian. Ibrahimian just came out of pit road.
I don't understand this call.
Oh, Jim Ganson up in front of Skylar Taylor. And Sam Young, who was up front all races, down here in 30th. About 30th, I believe. There's Winnie Calhoun. You can see her with her fresh tires starting to move forward. I think it's a her. Did we diagnose Winnie Calhoun's gender last year? Because I think I forgot.
I believe it's a her, yep.
But she is making those tires work.
I'll tell you right now, buddy, Strauss is looking. I think Strauss and Peter had the draft. If we can get up there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they are behind Fogelman and Downey, who are on a little bit older tires, and they're going to hold up Onjak and Strauss Commons on the inside line. 3 laps to go, with Dennis Moore right there behind them, too, looking for his first career win. The only driver out of these 4, Vince, that has won is Jessica Strauss, who won Daytona.
If we look at the separation, I don't know why. 2 tires just wasn't the call you had. Take 4, plenty of extra laps.
Winnie Calhoun not yet inside the top 10, but she is up to 11th. And I think she'll be looking to maybe get a 5th place finish here. Peter Onjak to the lead.
If you're Commons, you got to start playing the aero game. You got to stay tucked in and bounce out of 4 to take this win. I think there might be a 2-horse race.
Calhoun up to 6. I think she's got 5th in the bag here. Just got to get by Ron Bishop. Commons back to the inside of Peter Onjak. Both looking for their first career win in the Jerky Pro Truck Series.
The gangster himself's going to be loving that battle behind, too. This is what he needs.
Lap truck of Reggie Fogelman battling with Sky Commons. Another thing to mention here, Vince, the only Chevy gunning for this win is Dennis Moore. Calhoun too far behind. White flag is out for Peter Onjak. Is today his day for the first time in his career on the channel to get that W.
Commons is going to have a heck of a run right here, but I don't know if he has anywhere to go. Strauss is too far back. I think Peter just needs to close the distance and start arrow blocking right now down the back. Here we go.
Commons with a bit of a better run there. He ran a quarter lane higher, but I don't think it's enough of a run unless he sends it into 3 and 4. He's closing in, though. Into turn 3 they go. Onjak, Commons, Toyota versus Ford. Strauss isn't going to be close enough. Can Commons duck low here? Off of turn 4. Here they come to the start-finish line. It's going to be the gangsta Peter Onjak. For the first time in his Jerky Pro career, second race back to the series in several years, Peter gets it done. He wins at Auto Club for Red Bull.
The gangster himself shows why he runs these streets of California. What a job, man. Great call by his crew chief with the assist. A lot of questions for people like Catano, James, Sam Young, Cage. I don't know what the call was, and even more questions for people like Turner and Anderson staying out on 4-second old tires.
Sky Commons still with his career best here, I believe, in second place in his second race. Jessica Strauss, first and third to start the season. That is pretty dang good. Dennis Moore, fourth, and Winnie Calhoun gets fifth. Pulling along Ron Bishop in sixth. Lucas Catano, seventh. Jack James, eighth. Kyler Anderson, ninth. And James Ellis in the top 10. I mean, you look at 6th through 10th there, Vincent. They were the drivers we thought were going to be battling for this win before the caution came out, and strategy got flipped upside down. And, you know, the top 5 all took 4 tires, and everyone else took 2 or stayed out. See, Enzo Nereza, 11th. Donovan Cage, 12th. Going over some notables here. Benjamin Ice, 15th. Stephen Waters, 17th. Hunter Braxton, 20th. Wow, Sam Young, 24th. Jim Ganton, 26th. Adam Flickinger, 27th. Gene Sanford, 29th. Roberto Crown Jr., who stayed out, makes it on the one-stop, Vince, but 30th.
Yeah, I think that would have been a race-winning call if we had stayed green for sure.
Brittany Turner and Pat Johnson also make it all the way to the end. Everybody else, Vince, they came down at some point there in the last 7 laps, which at that point really makes you scratch your head why they would have stayed out.
Yeah, I think there'll be some angry exchanges between driver and crew chiefs, and I'll have to pack it up.
Man, 42nd place. Well, that'll do it here for us today at Auto Club. Next time you'll see Jerky Pro Truck Series is at Phoenix. I can't remember if Cup also goes to Phoenix after Auto Club. I'll have to double check on that. Y'all will find out about that tomorrow. But overall, Vince, what'd you think of Auto Club? I thought it was solid aside from the head-scratching strategy. The on-track product was pretty entertaining.
It was great in the beginning. I think it's just that one caution changed everything. If we would have never had it, it would have been a fuel mileage race. And yeah, I don't understand the strategy. And I don't understand the strategy if you came down pit road and you came back down pit road with fresh tire. That one is even more head-scratching. So other than that, can't really complain. First 80% of this race was good. Good finish. How about the gangster, Peter Onjak, getting it done?
All right, that'll do it for us here today. We'll see you guys, or I will see you guys for Digital Storm tomorrow. Vince has to fly back out, but he'll catch the race on TV. But yep, Peter Onjak, you're a winner here this afternoon, as we've started the season now with 2 first-time winners that are not rookie drivers. We'll see what happens when we get to Phoenix. But for now, see y'all tomorrow.